EA Sports welcomes you to beautiful Miami, Florida. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Houston Texans and the Miami Dolphins. Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And solid field position here to start as they get it out to the 40-yard line.
Well, that return gives them a golden opportunity to go out in front. How will the defense respond after giving up that type of a return?
They go play action here on first down. And his first look is incomplete. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
So the incomplete pass brings up second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. They only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. And let's run through the Dolphins' defense.
Randy Gregory entered the league with people excited about his pass rushing skills. They continue to stay excited about his potential.
Throwing, Cook. And this is going to be caught. No, they say it's incomplete. The Texans send the punter out. He'll kick it away after a 3 and out on the opening drive of the game. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 yards on the pickup there. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Second down, 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
Eric Armstead was a big-time high school basketball player turned into college football All-American. Now they're counting on him in the NFL to fulfill his promise.
So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. Now Carr. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down. They couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass. And
didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
Fielded just inside the 30. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things.
It's caught inside the 25. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great play there. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Texans have taken the early lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Now Carr throwing on second down. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but
yeah,
no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
Carr got a man, and he hits him in stride. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to guard. Here we go with Rawls. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Texans take over an excellent field position. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. Eluding the looking for Cooks, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And nothing but daylight ahead. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line. And the Dolphins offense now ready to go back out on the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field positions, earned it 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right?
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Their big tight end. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Dolphins are an extra point away from tying up this football game. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And he'll wind up with about the 30 to the 31.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. All week in practice, they stress grounding, pounding the football, and they really executed it well there to get the first down.
That usually means getting back to being physical in practice, because when you emphasize pounding the football, it doesn't really come together unless you practice it the same way you're going to play it in the game. That means more bodies, more pads, and a whole lot of popping last week, and they got it done in the game.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Now, that result is no surprise. This team is bringing back memories of what? The 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens. Those teams were so great against the run, they made you abandon any plans of doing that when you played against them.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed, and that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10. Play clock winding down. Now Cook. Hard throw, incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Taken in at the 11. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Carr. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Brashad Perriman off to the races. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Brashad Perriman, 74 yards. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. Good pass, clean catch, and a house call there on the fly route.
And not that much room to operate. So that tells you about his acceleration. We always talk about being able to go from 0 to 60 real fast. It took him less time than that to get to top speed and complete that play.
This fielded at the 2. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here. And now out comes Houston. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. Wow, now we've got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's 2nd down. He'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. A gain of 6 there on first.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Back to throw again. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Now, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And this is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Dolphins get the football in great field position. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there and swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. The 13 yards that time at a first.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Here's Carr. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Their big tight end with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. And he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover.
Here we go now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Throwing, Cook. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Toward the sideline, did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got Judge, and that's good enough for a 1st down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
2nd down, they need less than a yard to pick up the 1st. They'll run it now out of the gun. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to be met at about the 43. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Yeah, every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Flushed out right. Looking for Cooks, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. And the Dolphins getting set to go here. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out. I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through something.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And it looks like this will likely be the last play before we hit the 2-minute warning.
Let's see if they can sneak one more good play in before the 2-minute signal.
Time to step aside. We'll come back to Miami after this. And 3 full yards here for the offense to get on 3rd down. Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now 4th down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Give him 9 on the play. And on 4th down, they're able to move the sticks. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great...
Jarvis Landry. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jarvis Landry, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And now out comes Houston. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Now Cook. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. It's picked off by Jelani Jenkins. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. So now here come the Dolphins. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what...
And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. And McCaffrey, his 9th touchdown of the season, and the Dolphins add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep.
No, what the...
So many times during the course of a game, Brandon, the special teams actually helps out their offense. Not in this case. They did them zero favors with that return.
And now out comes Houston. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. 30 yards on the pickup there. And it'll give the Texans a first down. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
And that'll be incomplete. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after, and it's third down. So a second down incompletion now brings up third down. One receiver left, two to the right. Again, he'll drop to throw. Being chased out left. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
They'll look to set up his blockers. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And possession will change here with very little time remaining until halftime. And out come the Dolphins now. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
First down. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Now Carr, and this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. 15 yards through the air and a first down. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their comp.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. John. Why'd you skip Larry's halftime? I'm just kidding. I don't know who you are. But if you're John, maybe you're pretty freaked out for a second. All right, let's get to the third quarter. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Carr to throw on second down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure, and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football.
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him. If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
And Charles, a couple extra defensive backs in here on 3rd and 1.
Not expecting them to run it at all.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Their big-bodied receiver, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripted 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Throw complete right side to Cooks. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
I like what... watching the wide receiver screen, because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people who have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
On the move to his left. The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Steps away to his left, and he rifles one incomplete. And the offense in that middle ground here on 3rd down, 5 yards to go. And now here's a carry heading left. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
Now that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. Flush to his right. And it is incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Dolphins get the football in great field position. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down. They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
On second down, here's Carr. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
And looking at Houston defensively, they've got a dime set. 6 DBs on third. And he comes back with one complete. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Carr now on first down. And incomplete. Probably should have had that one, but with the game he's having tonight, maybe they'll let it go.
And there's a good opportunity to just want to ride there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
Carr again here on 2nd and 10. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
The wide receiver moving to a new spot. Again, it's Carr. Rolling, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. Under pressure, and they got to him again. They overload him that time on the safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. They'll try the field goal now with Graham Gano. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And the 10-year bet knocks it through the goalpost, and that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense, and over the post.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And some room to roam now. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now out comes Houston.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. On the tackle, it's Randy Gregory.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
It's a loss of 2, now third down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now. It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Now Cook. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to fire one, and for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best.
Now Carr throwing on second down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Kevin Johnson. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone. And now out comes Houston. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
Here we go now.
They'll look to throw. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked up by Casey Hayward. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Here's Carr. And a quick throw here, that's complete. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it.